The stone beneath his foot held. Another step, another breath. The mist stirred around him like a living thing, curling, twisting, whispering. He thought he heard laughter. Then, crack! The stone step behind him shattered. He whipped around, heart racing. It was gone, as if it had never been. One step forward, no steps back. This wasn't just a trial of balance. It was a test of commitment. He kept walking, step after step. Mist pressed tighter around him, curling into shapes. Faces, eyes, fingers clawing at the edge of the path. They whispered his fears. You're just a broken orphan. You'll never be strong enough. You'll fall like they all did. You're not the storm, you're the silence. He clenched his jaw and walked. Each step was heavier, harder. The air thickened like syrup. His muscles ached. One foot slipped, just a hair, and the mist surged up like jaws opening to swallow him. He yanked himself back. Sweat poured down his neck. He didn't dare look back. Focus! The word came from within, not the storm. Himself. He closed his eyes. The mark on his forearm burned, and then calmed. He listened, not to the whispers, not to the fear, to the breath, to the rhythm, to the pulse. One step, another. The path began to change. It no longer looked like stone. It looked like memory, fragments of places he'd never seen, or perhaps forgotten. A hallway of stars, a staircase carved through a waterfall, the bones of a great dragon long buried in mist. Each step was not just forward, it was deeper, into something else. The final platform appeared ahead, just wide enough for one person. He reached it, collapsing to his knees, and the voice returned. You chose the path. Now let it choose you. The mist exploded outward, and from it, a figure emerged, cloaked in wind and lightning, not human, not beast. Its face shifted with each second, young, old, broken, whole. Its eyes were endless spirals. It raised a hand. A blade of light appeared in its grip, shaped like a storm held still. Show me the shape of your soul, it said. Then it struck. Elias rolled, barely dodging the first arc of lightning. The blow carved through the platform like paper, vaporizing mist. He scrambled to his feet, breathing hard. No weapon, no shield, no skill, only instinct. The mark on his arm blazed. He raised his hands, the air bent. And for the first time, he moved before the strike. Not fast, not lucky. He knew where it would land. The Stormheart empowered him. He stepped, twisted, ducked, his body flowing like wind across the stone. The figure advanced, relentless. Its strikes came faster, each one echoing with thunder. Elias faltered once. A blade grazed his side. Pain flared, but his footing held. He gritted his teeth. Don't stop. Don't look back. He lunged forward, not to strike, but to meet the blow head on. The blade slammed into his forearm and stopped. The mark flashed brighter than ever. The lightning blade cracked, splintering apart like glass. The figure paused, then knelt. The storm accepts you. It dissolved into mist. Elias collapsed again, panting, but the platform beneath him began to shift. It rose, slowly, lifting him into light. Above the mist, above the fear. He looked up. A new path stretched before him. Real ground. ancient stones. He seemed to be on a wide and flat mountain peak, encircled by a brightly colored and beautifully designed fence, and it stood at more than twice his height. A wide gate stood before him, towering above the ground and the fence, lined with glowing symbols he couldn't read. But he knew what it meant. The first trial was over, and the storm had seen him. The light faded, the mist withdrew, and Elias stood blinking at the impossible. Through the massive open gate, a staircase stretched down from the cliff where he'd emerged from the phantom world, carved straight into the storm-worn bones of the mountain. Banners fluttered from stone pillars along the descent, dragons, falling leaves, a fist clutching a thunderbolt. In the valley below, a city unfolded like a secret too old to speak. Bridges of jade arched between towers built of stone. Lanterns pulsed softly along the walkways. Robed and armored individuals moved through wide courtyards inside the city's tall walls in a rhythm too precise to be casual. At the city's highest point, a black spire pierced the clouds, its peak glowing with a stormlight that stirred something deep in Elias's chest. He stepped off the platform. Behind him, the stone vanished. The wind here was colder, sharper, watching. He followed the path, feet aching, shoulders heavy, but something inside him still burned. The mark on his forearm pulsed with each heartbeat, steady as a drum, the rhythm of something deeper than fear. He thought he should be more exhausted than he was. It seemed like his duel with the ghostly figure in the phantom world had revitalized him somehow. At the base of the path, a gate opened on its own. Two robed men waited just beyond. One young, armored in pale lacquer, eyes sharp with disapproval. The other older, broad-shouldered, his hair bound in braids streaked with silver. The elder nodded as Elias stepped through. Another one made it. The younger shrugged. Barely. Elias stayed silent. The older man gestured toward a road that curved along the cliffs toward the city. This way. They walked without explanation. Elias followed. As they moved, his eyes drifted to the strange bands both men wore, broad strips of dark cloth tied across their foreheads, each fastened with a rectangular metal plate at the center. One bore the image of a jagged mountain split in two. The other, a coiled serpent wrapped tightly around a downward-pointing sword. Elias hadn't seen anything like them before, but something about the designs struck him. They matched two of the emblems he'd seen earlier, on the fluttering banners near the mountain gate, and again carved into the stone pillars along the path. Symbols of something. He didn't know what, but the way they wore them, visible, deliberate, told him they meant more than decoration. A kind of identity, maybe, or allegiance. Elias made a silent note of both as they passed beneath another archway, etched with unfamiliar writing. They passed gardens with huge trees and stone statues carved into fighting stances. Large buildings with a distinctive Eastern feel to their architecture. Giant bells suspended from wooden frames, humming quietly in the breeze. All of it ancient, all of it alive with power. Everywhere he looked, Elias saw symbols, 7 distinct emblems etched into gates, flags, and robes. A serpent coiled around a blade, a wave crashing beneath a half-mask, a mountain cracking in two. Each one meant something. Each one belonged to someone. Elias slowed as they passed a series of stone pillars, each bearing one of the 7 emblems. "What is this place?" he asked. The younger man answered without turning. "Kyōtei Martial Academy, a neutral martial academy, one of a kind." The elder added, "The 7 factions established it, and the city nearby as common ground. Each sends disciples here. Each contributes instructors. No one rules. Elias frowned. No one? The old man smiled slightly. Not openly. They reached a long corridor lined with statues, fighters, scholars, beasts with too many eyes. At the end stood a wide courtyard where dozens of students trained. Some practiced hand-to-hand strikes against stones until sparks leapt. Others knelt beneath floating crystals, faces serene. A few moved with weapons Elias had no name for, blades that curved like questions, staves that crackled with wind. Heads turned as he entered. Eyes scanned him, wary, curious, some hostile. A few lingered on his forearm, gazes turning inquisitive at the sight of the lightning bolt there. The elder led him to a small stone building with one door. This wasn't the only one, though. The courtyard was lined with them on both the left and right, and there appeared to be more than one row of them in both directions. The elder opened the door. Inside there was one small bed, a few folded ash-gray shirts with matching pants, and a matching ash-gray cloak. A basin. Nothing else. A slip of parchment lay atop the bedding. He picked it up. One step forward. No steps back. Day of testing. 6 months. What's the day of testing? Elias asked. The elder turned at the door. When all outer disciples are judged, those who've earned it will be offered a place in the inner circle. And the rest? They can continue to train here, or leave. Elias looked down at the robe. So I have 6 months to prove I'm worth keeping. No, the man said before shutting the door. You have 6 months to survive.